Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In our previous video, we learned about introduction to ecology. So what do you mean by ecology? What are all the things which are found in ecology and what was history of ecology? Everything was learnt in our previous video. And in this particular video, we will be learning about ecological factors. So, what do you mean by ecological factors? As we know, ecology is nothing but study of environment or the things surrounding us. Ecological factors are nothing but the environmental factors. The factors which are responsible for causing any change in the environment can be termed as your ecological factors. Based on this particular factor only, an environment of a particular place can be determined here. If there is any change in these particular factors, there will be a change in the environment also. That is why we are learning these ecological factors, and in this part we will be learning how are they influencing the environment. So, we will let us know what do you mean by ecological factors and what are the different types of ecological factors. As we know, we have got three different types of ecological factors here. The prime one is called as your climatic factors. The first one is called as climatic factors, and second one is called as edaphic factors. Edaphic factors, and the last one is called as biological factors. So, each of this factor, it may be your climatic factor, it may be your edaphic factor, and it may be your biological factor. Every factor has an individual influence on a particular plant or an animal living in an environment here. So, we will go in a chronology manner. First we will learn with that of your climatic factors, then edaphic factors, and then about your biological factors. సబ్ చేయండిరా చేయలేదా ఫస్ట్ వన్ light, second one. As I said, we will be going on with the chronological manner. Firstly, we will be starting with your climatic factors. So, let us know which are the various climatic factors. We have got 6 various climatic factors, and they can be mentioned as light, temperature, rainfall, wind, atmospheric humidity, and atmospheric gases. And now, we will learn one by one and how they are influencing a plant here. First one, light. So, as we know, light is the main important source for all the green plants here. And which is the radiant source of energy? Sun will be the radiant source of energy that is very essential for a green plant to survive, because we know the process of photosynthesis. If photosynthesis has to occur here, there should be a presence of sunlight. Once there is a presence of sunlight, the process of photosynthesis will be continuing here. So, first thing is photosynthesis. This is your first one. This is the prime factor for food production, that is in the form of starch. So, what is the essential pigment which is responsible for photosynthesis? That is chlorophyll. If the photosynthesis has to occur here, there should be a presence of chlorophyll, and we know very well that the photosynthesis occurs only in the daytime, because from this statement we can confirm that the chlorophyll will be activated, or the formation of chlorophyll will be done only in the presence of sunlight only. So, the second point is activation of chlorophyll. Activation of This is the second influence here. And we know very well that the heat or the appropriate temperature is essential for a plant to grow in a normal condition or for its optimum levels. So, I cannot keep a plant in a complete cold condition, or I cannot keep a plant in a complete high temperature. It needs an optimum condition here. So, usually all the plants or whatever you have this mesophils, they require about 25 to 32 degrees centigrade as their optimum condition for their normal growth. So, we know this one. So, there is a requirement of a proper temperature for all the plants to grow in an optimum condition, and that temperature or that heat will also be provided by the sunlight itself. So, we can write it here as optimum temperature. And next thing is transpiration. So, what do you mean by transpiration? The removal of excess amount of water from the plant body in the form of water vapor in the presence of sunlight can be defined as your transpiration. If transpiration has to occur, there should be a presence of light. Hence it is also proved that light is essential for transpiration here. So, we know that when there is an absence of transpiration, the plant will completely rot, because that is the method, it's one of the method for the removal of excess amount of water from the plant body here. And what is the next one? And we consider this one like photosynthesis, activation of chlorophyll, optimum temperature, transpiration. These are all very essential for a normal development of a plant here. So, I can quote it as the proper development of a plant. So, from all the four things I can quote it that the proper development of a plant is only under the light. So, these are all the various methods in which the light influences a plant here. So, we have got in an environment, we have got both animal as well as plant. Being a botany class, we are having an examples of plant only, and this is how light is essential, and this is how the light is influencing the environment here. So, here we completed about the light here, and the second one is temperature. As I said, in case of light, the temperature is one of the essential factor influencing the plant life here. So, there should be an optimum temperature here, that is optimum temperature from 25 degrees centigrade to 32 degree centigrade. This is the optimum temperature for all the various physiological activities here. And what is the next one? We can quote it as effect of metabolism. As we know, in case of a plant, we have got various metabolisms happening here. There are so many pathways occurring in a plant life here that you would have learned in your second PUC also. It may be C3 cycle, it may be C4 cycle, or it may be CAM pathway in case of certain plant, or TCA cycle, glycolysis. All these cycles or various other metabolisms should be happening in case of a plant, all require a proper temperature here. So, as we say in a whole manner, we can confine that for all the physiological activities, it may be an activation of a metabolism, it may be a continuation of a metabolism, or it may be a termination of a metabolism. For every metabolism, there is a proper defined temperature here, and until and unless the plant is not obtaining that particular temperature here, those metabolisms will be stopped there. So, we can say that the effect on metabolism, the temperature has a direct or an indirect effect on the metabolism here. And what is the next thing? And we have got a other thing, that is effect on growth. With reference to this, we can describe the plant, or we can just group the plants into various groups, that is called as megatherms, microtherms, homeotherms or poikilotherms. So what do you mean by megatherms? These plants require a high temperature. What do you mean by microtherms? They require a less temperature. And what are homeotherms? They maintain a moderate. And what are the last one? These are cold climatic plants. Cold climate. They require a complete cold climate here. As we say, all these four will be termed on their growth itself. So let me give an example. If a megatherm plant, the plant which will come under the megatherm category, if it is found in a microtherm condition, they will never grow. In the same vice versa, a microtherm plant or a plant which is under microtherms is placed in a megatherm environment, they can never grow. So everything happens for all these four classes here. Until and unless that particular kind of plant is found in that suitable condition maintaining temperature or a environment, then only they can grow in an optimum condition here. That is known by your temperature here, and these are all the effects or the influence of temperature on the particular thing. Here we completed the second climatic factor, that is temperature, and now moving on for the third climatic factor, that is called as precipitation, or commonly it is known as rainfall here. So this rainfall is commonly in various forms. It can be like drizzle. So what do you mean by drizzle? The raindrop, the small raindrops are the early of your rainfall can be called as drizzle. It is not actually rain, it just started drizzling. That is mean by small droplets of rainwater is falling. That is what we mean by drizzle here. And next one is the normal rain. It depends on the various centimeter that will be decided in the next part here. That is your rain. And you know the snow. The condensed form of your water can be called as your snow here. And fog. What do you mean by fog? The condensation of this water along with some other object that may be found in your atmosphere. If they are combined with that of a condensed water, they form a opaque object called as fog. So when you are on a drive or in your vehicle, when you find that white color thing which is approaching near the hill stations can be called as your fog here. And next one is sleet. They are nothing but the needle like condensed water can be called as your sleet. That's the fall in the form of this nails from the sky, that is called as sleet here. And last one is called as hail, the commonly called as hailstones here. So each of them have a various effect on the plant here. Drizzle, there is no problem at all. They do not affect the plant at all. They are useful. When you come to the rain, it is useful for the plant. Snow, there is no use for a plant here. Just they will be maintaining a lower temperature, reducing the rate of transpiration here. And what is fog? The fog is in nowhere it is related to the plant here. It is affected for the man itself here. And sleet and hail, these both are very dangerous. Because once there is an formation of the sleet or hail or hailstones, they will damage the complete crops here. Because I said you the sleets, they are like nails falling from that of the sky here. So they will damage the leaf or they will damage the plant parts here. And I said hail, the hailstones may differ from small size to the larger size. When they are in a larger size, they will completely destroy a vegetation here. So out of various forms of rainfall, we have got many types, and out of them only 2 are more dangerous, and this rain is very useful for the plant here. And now we will understand what are the various formations of types of vegetation according to the rainfall. In throughout our India, we have various rainfall and various vegetation, and we cannot consider only India here, and we can consider the whole world also. As let me take an example of 2 extreme poles, that is your Antarctica as well as your Greenland. If you take an example of this Antarctica as well as the Greenland here, the vegetation is completely opposite here, and the vegetation is according to that particular condition itself, and it is according to that of the rainfall there only. And we have various rainfall, that is in the form of centimeters I am explaining. You can get it in the form of meters or in case of feet also. So 1 to 13 centimeter of rainfall can be found in the desert. That is why there is a presence of desert in Rajasthan, because the rainfall in Rajasthan is very low. It is around only 1 to 13 centimeters, hence there is a presence of desert in the Rajasthan, and about 13 to 35 centimeter it will be having an semi-arid grassland. That is not a completely lush green thing, a grass will be found in that particular area which can grow in an less amount of water also. And what is the next one? That is 35 to 62 centimeter of rainfall you can see in the savanna. The complete the shrub-like forest which you see can be called as our savannas here, and they also the scattered trees. Means in some places here, there, here and there, if you find the trees there, that condition can be called as our scattered trees here. And what is the next one? It is around 63 to 114 centimeter, that is having a subtropical forest. It is not less than that of a rainforest, but a step down than that of the Amazon forest or your evergreen forest. And we have 114 to 203 centimeters in a tropical rainforest here. So these are the various rainfall, and according to these rainfalls we have got a proper vegetation here. Those have been recorded here, and we will move on for the next one. So we completed about rainfall here, and we will move for the next climatic factor, that is wind here. And wind is also one of the climatic factor which influence the plant life in three ways here. Based on the type of wind here, we will go with three types, that is delicate wind or moderate or normal wind, and last one is the very abrupt we can call, or huge winds we can call them as, or we can use the word called as violent winds. So these are the three different types of wind we can come across. We can classify the wind into three forms, that is a delicate wind, a moderate wind and a very abrupt huge winds. So how are these going to influence the plant life here? So in case of a delicate wind, they are not at all harmful for the plant, and they can also help in the pollination here. This is one advantage, and second one, they will not take away the atmospheric humidity here. When the winds are very hard and they are very rash, or when they are very violent in nature, they will take away all the atmospheric humidity from that of the air found there, so increasing the rate of transpiration, but that is not found in case of your delicate wind. No, a removal of atmospheric humidity. So this is about your delicate wind. And when you come to the second one, that is moderate or normal wind, again this also helps in case of pollination, and here also no damage to the atmospheric humidity, and we can also have an other thing that it may help in the autumn period for the falling of leaves. That may be helpful in case of the autumn period for falling of leaves, and this may be helpful for the plant in this particular way. Along with that, two things I said in case of delicate wind. And when you come for the abrupt wind or huge winds, these have a many of the disadvantages for a plant life or even for a huge tree life also. So first thing, uprooting. So we are coming across this thing in a very random way recent days. We seen an uprooted tree easily because of the violent winds. Due to heavy rain or due to heavy wind, the trees will go uprooted. They will pluck out of the area and they will uproot themselves. This is one of the factor here. And second one is the forest fire. So maybe you are wondering how the forest fire will be caused by this huge winds or the violent winds. When a violent wind is occurring in a particular area, there is a complete rubbing of the dry leaves. If a plant or if a tree is having a dry leaves and there is a huge vegetation of dry leaves there, when they rupture to each other, that friction will create the fire in between them. That will be the cause for the forest fire, and that will result in the forest fire here. And next one, this will removal, that is the complete removal of atmospheric humidity. So once these violent winds are blown, they will take away all the atmospheric humidity from that of the air present in that particular area, increasing the mean temperature. That may result in the increased transpiration, and due to this increased transpiration, the plants may completely go dry and they may die also. So these are the various forms how these very abrupt or very huge winds or the violent winds are causing the plant here. And we will go with that of the next kind of climatic factor, that is atmospheric humidity. So what do you mean by atmospheric humidity? The amount of moisture present in the air can be defined as an atmospheric humidity, or the percentage of moisture found in an air in that particular area can be called as our atmospheric humidity. So how this will influence? This will influence only in the two ways. When there is more atmospheric humidity, the rate of transpiration decreases. When there is more amount of atmospheric humidity, that means it is having more amount of moisture content in the air. This results in the less amount of transpiration. No problem to the plant, or no harm is occurred to the plant here. And what is the next one? At low atmospheric humidity. So this will the rate of transpiration increases. Rate of transpiration increases here. Once the rate of transpiration increases here, again as I said, in case of this violent winds here, they will completely dry off the plant, because whatever the amount of water is taken up by the plant will be removed in the form of transpiration. When there is a rapid accounting of this atmospheric humidity, they will go dry and they will lose their life here. So it has a very small role, but very important role in case of a climatic factor of a plant here. So this is about your atmospheric humidity. So here we have completed the 5 important climatic factors, and we are left out with the last one, that is your atmospheric gases. So we know we have got many atmospheric gases. They may be like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and many other things, but with reference to the plant, we will be reading about only these 3 things here, because they play a very pivotal role in case of life of a plant here. How? As we know, nitrogen is essential for the nitrogen fixation here. So nitrogen, which is found in case of your atmosphere, cannot be taken directly by that of plant. They will be converted from your nitrates to nitrates, again from that to your ammonia. That is how they will be converted, and they will be taken up by the plant with the help of the various that is biological factors. We have your rhizobium bacteria or other leguminous plants. We have many other mutual understandings here. By that method, they will take up the atmospheric nitrogen and they will be utilized for the nitrogen fixation in case of plants here. And oxygen, we know that one, oxygen is not taken by that of the plant, but that is released from that of the plant here. By what? By taking up of the carbon dioxide. So when there is more amount of carbon dioxide, the more amount of oxygen will be released here. Increased amount of oxygen will be released here when there is more amount of carbon dioxide, and vice versa, less amount of carbon dioxide will give us less amount of oxygen here. So these three are the important atmospheric gases which we want to discuss here. Apart from this, we have got many more atmospheric gases. They may be having a small role, but these have a pivotal or very important role. So here we will be completing that of your climatic factors. And in my next video, I will be covering the topic that is edaphic factor as well as your biological factor. If you like the content, please like my video, subscribe to my channel and just share my channel. Thank you.